Karl-Anthony Towns has spoken out on the true nature of his injury, and we got to break down exactly who will be coming in the game if Karl-Anthony Towns is ever, unfortunately, not able to make it. But he played last night. We got to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Knicks Basketball 365. If you're a Knicks fan, hit that subscribe button. But let's get into the news for today. Coming from Knicks videos on Twitter, Karl-Anthony Towns says he's playing through a grade 2 quad strain and that it was hurting, but I didn't want to disappoint the fans. It's not something that's easy to deal with. We made it happen tonight. I'm glad the fans respected the effort that I put in to play tonight. Well, I say a lot about Karl-Anthony Towns, about how he doesn't play defense, about how he gets into too much foul trouble, but I do have to respect it and say, we do notice the effort being put out, being listed as doubtful just mere hours before the basketball game tipped off last night. Love to see Karl-Anthony Towns making a run at it and just really trying to overcome an injury to put on for the city. He knows that this Knicks team this season has high expectations, and people are going to have to fight through stuff like that to make sure that the dream happens. Now, the thing about New York, if you lose, they're going to hate you forever, but if you win, they will love you forever, and we are very supportive of our New York Knicks. So when a player does play through an injury like this, we will definitely be supporting. We notice everything, and we will be supporting. So appreciate Karl-Anthony Towns for fighting through this injury. If we take a look at his stats versus the Cavaliers, didn't play as many minutes as he could have in the first quarter because of the early foul trouble, but still put up 19 points, shooting 5 for 12, which was good for 41.2% from the field, only 25% from three. He had some deep step into threes, only converting 1 for 4 threes taken, 11 rebounds, 2 assists. Not the best night in terms of Karl-Anthony Towns scoring, but certainly not a bad night. And when you are hampered by a bad injury, you want to make sure that you're not overdoing it minutes wise, and it's understandable that the points aren't as high for him. But this season, the points aren't expected to be super high for any one Knicks starter, as Mike Brown's new strategy, or maybe not new, maybe just not Tom Thibodeau, his strategy doesn't involve running the starters into the ground, and it's so refreshing to see 11 guys getting real run, not just 2 minutes at the end of the game. 11 guys in rotation and making sure that guys are staying healthy. A lot of guys are able to get into rhythm. So if there are worse injuries coming farther along in the season, and they will come because it's a physical game, no one gets out of it unscathed. For when those injuries come, we have to make sure that our backups have already had game action and they're ready to go when the lights are the brightest. But Karl-Anthony Towns, ever since acquiring him last year from the Minnesota Timberwolves, it was obvious that there was a plan for him. And now with Mike Brown, we are starting to see what that plan is. There was a lot of motion on the offense that was able to set up some wide open threes for the New York Knicks. And it was great to see because last year they didn't shoot a ton of threes, even though they did hit a high percentage of them. And when Mike Brown is calling plays that are going to get Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns open from three, that makes it so with their high shooting percentage, they're going to hit some good threes, and we are really going to get this thing going. But the guy that would be coming in and playing even more minutes if Karl-Anthony Towns, really, it's any big man on the team, any power forward, any center. So you can throw in a myriad of names here, but the name that we got to talk about is Ariel Hukporti, the second round pick from the New York Knicks of a couple of years ago, 55th overall pick from last year. Don't know why I called that a couple of years ago. 2024's 55th overall pick, final pick in the draft, but Hukporti has turned into a steal for the New York Knicks. He came into the draft with a pretty bad lower body injury. So he's starting to overcome that and showing why before he was injured, he was seen as a borderline first round pick. And the New York Knicks can certainly use big men anywhere they can find them. If you were paying attention to the team last year, you would know we were looking for a center and we couldn't find one because no one is giving centers away. They're really tough to find, which is why it's great that Hukporti is earning minutes and able to make a difference as a big man for this team. Now, he's not going to be shooting as well as Karl-Anthony Towns is, but no big man in NBA history has ever shot the ball as well as Karl-Anthony Towns does. We're going to see what Wembanyama turns into because he looked absolutely unstoppable last night. Maybe Wembanyama does turn into a better shooting / overall offensive threat as a big man. But when I say offensive, I mean shooting and offensive moves away from under the rim. So, perimeter big man, because obviously under the basket, there are some legends from back in the day, but we're not talking about back to the basket centers. We're talking about Karl-Anthony Towns. We're talking about Victor Wembanyama. We're talking about these centers that play like guards. But hey, it's a different world. Every single year, the NBA gets more fixated on shooting threes. There's this new unicorn out of the draft. Guys are just doing things that no one has ever seen before. And I'm really, really scared of what Victor Wembanyama is going to turn into. But if you're looking for a more traditional type of center, that's exactly what Ariel Hukporti brings to the table. He's going to play with his back to the basket, as well as being a really tremendous rim protector for this team. We can expect Hukporti, should he get the minutes, to run up some blocks this season. And he's someone that, even for his size, he can move in transition, get buckets for the Knicks, set up other guys to get buckets, throw lobs when they're there. He's always going to be running. Well, as soon as the ball goes in transition, Hukporti's running a lot. He's running the break for a lot of times for being a center and for being the guy that's really not on the perimeter when the break starts. Hukporti's rebounding skills gives the New York Knicks another offensive option like that, and you got to make sure you're scoring in transition. Just another opportunity to get a leg up on the other basketball teams in this league. Knicks right now, I actually haven't checked the odds, but I think maybe after beating the Cavs, they may have taken over the betting favorite for being the best team in the East, the best chance to win the Eastern Conference Finals, because with the East being opened up with Halliburton with an injury and Jason Tatum with an injury, it's wide open. And I'm as a New York sports fan, I'm used to getting let down. So I'm really scared to get actually excited for this Knicks team. But looking at them, there are too many reasons to get excited, and there are not enough reasons. I feel like me not saying that they are the best team in the East or the second best team in the East just is me being overly cautious, because I know what it looks like as a Jets fan as well. I know how it looks when it looks like everything's going to be perfect. You got Aaron Rodgers, you got a tremendous defense, but it just doesn't work out. The Knicks have the opportunity to win one of the first championships for New York City since, I don't even know, or I guess the New York Giants were the last championship, but it's been a drought. And Karl-Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson, Ariel Hukporti, got to do it for the city. This team is going to be bringing a new energy to New York. You already love to see it. We already got the new Giants, got Cam Scatterbo in the crowd at the Garden, just ready to bring the energy, ready for this team to do something that a Knicks team has not done since the 1900s and bring a championship to New York. So extremely excited for these guys. Love the fact that this culture for the Knicks has a toughness that is going to have people fighting through injuries and playing even if they are injured. But that's just what New York is all about. And Karl-Anthony Towns, one more time, the fans, we see it. Keep fighting through that injury. We'll be there to support you. Let's go Knicks. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and go Knicks.